Okay. Something else, let's come back to gravity. Gravity, we're not just going to want the source particles to be affected by gravity, we're also going to want the fragments that are going to be created to be affected by gravity. So what we're going to do is we're going to create yet another group, and we're going to call this gravity bound, and we're going to go ahead and move the source and the fragments groups into gravity bound. And then here in the gravity rule, we're going to go ahead, instead of source, we're going to go ahead and say gravity bound. Okay, so this is a good time for us to go ahead and save this file. We're going to call this fragment3 midway, and let's go ahead and continue. We've got the force set up there, and now let's get into the juice of using fR-PartLights. We're going to come over here to the lights panel, into the final render category. We're going to create something called an fR-PartLight. We'll drop that right there. It needs to know which particle system it's going to work with, so we're going to go ahead and say pick particle system, and we'll pick TP. Now we'll get to thinking 01. There's quite a few parameters. Really the ones that are important for us are the angle, because the angle is going to define kind of the view of the light, kind of like a spotlight. In our case, we want that light to be cast in all directions, so we're going to go ahead and set that to 180. Something else is we're going to want attenuation. We don't want the light to go forever. We're going to go ahead and let's get a kind of frame of reference here. Let's see how big this is. This is a radius of about 8. So let's go ahead, we'll delete that, and in our fR-PartLights, let's actually pick him. Our fR-PartLight, we're going to set the starting attenuation to 10 and the ending at 20. And then one other thing that we have to do with the fR-PartLights is tell the fR-PartLight which particle group is going to be acting as the lights. You can see all of our choices right here. We actually want to create a new choice to use. We're going to come up to all, create a new group called lights, move him up to the top of the list there, and change his color to be yellow. And what we want to have happen, let's go back to the fR-PartLight and say, okay, your thinking particles group that you're going to be using is the lights group. Okay, so wherever a lights particle is, there is going to be an fR-PartLight. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to have the fragment occur so when these guys, these orange source objects, when they fall, when they hit this or this, these collision environment objects or particles, it's going to go ahead and create some of these lights, and those lights are going to be used to fragment those source objects. So when the source hits these, we're going to want to go ahead and create a light. Let's do a position born generator. We're going to want to born into the lights group, 1 per call. Lifespan we're going to set really short. We don't want them to live forever, and the rest of that's fine. So you could set up rules based on collisions. If it only happens between certain groups, you could born lights. In this case, we're just going to make it really easy. We're just going to say whenever there's a collision, go ahead and born one of these light particles at that position. Again, this is a really simple way to do it, but right now we just want to see a quick result. So as these guys are born out there, here's something to note. We've got the fR-PartLight selected here, and so what's going to happen is when these lights particles are born, we're actually going to see the attenuation, near and far attenuation there. And we'll see it again as that guy hits the bottom down here. Oh, you know what? Yeah, we totally forgot about that. We used a plane object as one of these ground collision environments. The problem with planes or single-sided objects in shape collision is that they have no thickness, and so they're not going to be evaluated as a collision object properly. What we need to do is come back up, and first we'll turn off TP, and then we're going to unhide everything. We're going to select that ground plane, and we will go ahead and add a shell modifier on him in order to give him some thickness. Okay, we'll come back, turn on TP, select this, change effect all, hide him. Okay. Okay, now we can see that yellow particle being created. Let's go ahead and select the fR-PartLights, and you'll see now those little attenuation fields appearing. And in fact, these particles are stacking here, and it was creating fR-PartLights in between them. We'll go ahead and deselect that, and we'll zoom way in. You can see that this yellow particle here is actually one of these lights particles being created during this shape collision. So Okay, so let's get into the fragmenting portion of it. Let's go ahead and save. Let's come into the fragment rule, and here in the fragment we're going to be fragmenting those source particles, which are the eggs, and then we've got the fragment set up. We're set to use lights. Let's go ahead and pick the fR-PartLight. It's going to be an available light option there, and our threshold 0.1 should be okay. Let's go ahead and see what we get. We'll come back here to 0, run out, and the first one that's going to hit, I believe, is this guy over here. Let's go ahead and see. Boom. So you can see that what's happening is once he hit, he created a bunch of light particles. Those light particles are tied into the fR-PartLight. They're used as lights in the fragment operator, and it fragments that source group. So here we get very specific areas where particles are being fragmented. Same thing down here. We can see one happened. Boom, he hits, gives birth to some lights. Those lights then are going to be used to fragment him. And of course they only have a limited attenuation, so it's only going to affect him in certain areas. Okay, so this is just one of the ways that we can use another light source. In this case it's fR-PartLights. It's an extremely powerful system, and Final Render is pretty amazing as well. So if you don't use Final Render, you might want to seriously take a look at it. It's very fast, high quality, and I think you'd be very happy. Okay, so this has been it for fragmenting with fR-PartLights. We'll go ahead and move on.